Hi everyone. Do you enjoy playing with your grandchildren and pets, but are afraid to get on the floor because you're afraid you won't be able to get back up again? We're going to work on some techniques and exercises today to build up the strength that we need to be able to get back up once we're on the floor. These techniques will also be helpful if we ever fall. Barring any injury, we'll be able to get back up. As usual, we want a nice sturdy chair and our safe space to work out in. While you're getting that set up, I just want to thank you for watching Chittarupa Yoga. I'm Laurel Wilson, ACE certified personal trainer and 200-hour certified yoga instructor with over 18 years experience working with seniors. My channel here is all about adapting exercises to meet the needs of our aging bodies. Here you'll find the modifications that you need to keep aging actively so you can remain independent as long as possible. I post new videos every Monday, so be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification so that you'll know when they're ready, and take a moment to hit that thumbs up button if you find these videos helpful. All right, we are going to begin standing and doing a little bit of warm-up, preparing ourselves for the exercises that we need to be able to get ourselves back up. We're just going to begin with a basic squat, which you can do in front of the chair. The nicest way to do this is lining up our feet with the foot of our chair. And I just realized I'm barefoot. You can do this with shoes on, because more than likely if you're out somewhere, you're gonna have shoes on. I'm just so used to doing yoga and hanging out barefoot at home. Of course, if you're at home and you're barefoot, it's good to do it that way as well. But let's go ahead and start here and just begin to sit ourselves back and stand up. In order to get back up from anything, we need these nice strong thighs and hips. So let's sit ourselves back, stand up. We keep our hands here at our thighs if we wish, or we can take our hands free. The chair is also there if you want to sit all the way down in the chair and stand back up again. This should also start getting our heart rate up so we get ourselves a nice little workout today. All right, let's step aside, circle our hips a bit. We're going to face sideways at our chair next. So let's take one leg forward, one leg back. We're going to stay on the toes of the back leg and slide it back enough that we've got our knee bent just a little bit and knee over the ankle. Let's bring this back foot in a little bit so that knee is bent right underneath our hip. We can do this behind the chair, holding onto the chair, but let's just straighten and bend. So our body goes straight up and down. Don't look at what my knee is doing, look at what the rest of my body's doing. Up and down. Strengthening these muscles in a way that we're going to use them for getting back up. We're going to be getting up with the assistance of a chair. Let's switch legs. Same thing. Bend this knee over the ankle. Bring this knee in under the hip. Straighten and bend. Bring ourselves up and down. So we're going to use a chair to assist ourselves today with getting down and up. Let me know in the comments if you want another get down and up from the floor without using a chair, because you might not have one around. All right, let's bring it up, shake that out a bit. We're going to look at our plank pose to work on strengthening our core. So we're going to bring our hands underneath our shoulders, about the distance of our chair, but in the center of our chair. And then keeping our shoulders over our wrists, let's walk our legs back. And then let our belly muscles kick in and just hang out here for a moment. We're just going to do this once for now. Feel that shaking going on? We're going to go a few more seconds. If you find you're having trouble breathing, you can go ahead and come up. But let's all go ahead and take a step in and another step in. And a few deep breaths. The next one we're going to do is at the wall. This is just our warm-up for getting ready for some of those push-ups we're going to do later. It's a very interesting way we're going to be doing it, so stick around until we get there. So let's start with our elbows in, wrists straight out from them, step up to our wall, and then we're going to step back, keeping that bend in our elbows. So this is our position. Let's push back, push it down, push it back, and in. Take it slow. If you're used to these or any kind of push-ups, taking this slower adds that tension and strength building for you. Remembering to breathe as always. Keeping our core engaged because we're in our plank pose right here. Chaturanga pose right here if you do yoga. Let's do one more and shake that out. So like I said, we're going to look at a couple of techniques for getting back up off the floor, but we're also going to kind of do the reverse of those techniques to get onto the floor. We're going to start getting on to just hands and knees and coming back up. So if that's the level where you are today, you can stop there. We're going to take it to where we get all the way down sitting on the floor, because if you're playing with your pets or your grandkids, you're probably going to be sitting on the floor. But for those of you who are new to this getting up off the floor stuff, let's look at the highest level. So we're going to start by facing our chair. We're going to hinge at our hips, push them back, and bring our hands to that plank position that we were in before. Let's start with our right leg, dropping down to one knee, and then we're going to drop to our left knee. And let's take our right hand down to the floor and our left hand to the floor. So we're here in all fours. Let's hang out here for a moment. To get back up, all the techniques will involve getting back over to this position anyway, back to our hands and knees. So if you can, if you fall, roll over to this position here, and if you're lucky enough to have something nearby that you can use it. Let's take our right hand to the chair and our left hand. Then we're going to bring our right knee forward, tuck our left toes, and we're going to push with both feet and both hands to push ourselves up. And while we're here, we're going to do a kind of a lunge push-up combo. Bend, straighten, elbows and knees. So we're going to do a few of these. Let's do one more, and then we're going to come up, step that leg in, and bring ourselves up, and take a few breaths. So I wanted to try this one with you to give you a chance to do those push-ups at a different angle, but with the help of our legs, because our whole body's going to work together to get us up. Let's do that from the other side. Let's bring our hands to the chair, step back to our left knee, and then our right knee, left hand down, right hand down. So again, we're on the floor, we're rolling ourselves over to our hands and knees position, or we're just in our hands and knees position today. Left hand to the chair, right hand to the chair. Remember, in the center of the chair, right toward the edge, but hands flat on top. Left foot forward, right toes tucked. Let's come up halfway, and then we're going to bend elbows and knees, straighten them up. Bend and straighten. Our combination push-up and lunge. Because if we're going to get ourselves up this way, this is what we need to be able to do. Let's do one more. Come up, bring that leg in, stand it up. So if that's where you are today, you can stop at the hands and knees portion of what we're about to do. We're going to do the exact same thing, but we're going to go ahead and roll over and come to a seat on the floor. Then we're going to see how we roll ourselves back to the hands and knees to get back up. We'll do both sides again. That way we can work on building up this strength, building up a little cardio too, and seeing all the techniques that are involved. So let's face the chair, get ourselves down to start with, hinging at our hips. Hands here, let's start with our right leg, right knee, right hand, left hand, and let's lean over toward our right and bring our legs around front. So we're down, we're going to be sitting like this, maybe we're sitting like this, maybe we've fallen and we're all the way down on the floor. We want to try to get ourselves to this seated position, and then from here to hands and knees, or depending on what position you're in on the floor, just get to hands and knees. So from here, again, we're going to swing our legs around to our left, and let's take our hands to the floor and swing ourselves up onto our hands and knees. Bringing right hand and then left hand to the chair, right foot forward, left toes tucked. And again, let's come a little forward, shoulders over wrists. Let's do about 6 of those push-ups, lunges. Then we're going to push up, step it in, and bring it up. Let's do the other side. Hinge forward, step back to the left knee, And then the right knee, left hand, right hand, and then we're gonna come over to our left side and bring our legs around. Again, you can crisscross if you prefer. All right, let's take our legs, swing them around, our feet around to our right. We're gonna bring our hands forward and roll up onto our hands and knees. Let's take our left hand up, right hand up. Left foot forward, right toes tucked. Shift ourselves up so our shoulders are over our wrists. Take it to those 6 push-up lunges. And then we'll push ourselves up, step in, and come up. So that's our one technique. We're gonna do another one that's gonna help work our core a bit. And perhaps if we do get a bang to one of our knees, this is a technique that can help us get back up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hinge forward just as before. We're gonna come to our plank pose, stepping our feet back, and then let's shift our hips back until they're over our legs and our arms are straight. From here, taking right hand and then left hand to the floor, right knee, left knee. So we're gonna come from that downward dog to plank position to get ourselves up. So let's bring right hand and left hand to our chair, tuck our toes, and we're gonna see, might have to walk in a little bit, pushing up with our arms and our legs. We're gonna lift ourselves up to that plank pose. And let's step it in and up. So we're gonna do that with our left foot leading. Hinge forward, stepping ourselves back to the plank, hinging back to our downward dog, left knee down, right knee down, left hand, right hand, hands, knees again. Let's bring our left hand to the chair, right hand to the chair, walk in if we need to, so we can get that push-up action, tuck our toes, push everything up, shoulders over wrists. We're only gonna do these this time. Shifting ourselves forward and standing up. How are we feeling? Let me know what you thought of that second technique in the comments. We're gonna go ahead and take ourselves down to the floor in our seated position. So let's go ahead, and this time I'm gonna urge you to start with whichever leg is your weakest. I'm just gonna start with the one facing you. Getting ourselves down to the floor, and I'll go ahead and swing around this way. So let's say we're down here playing with our grandkids, pets, whatever. If we don't do some kind of moving around while we're down here, chances are we're gonna get stiff. And getting stiff is gonna make it hard to get ourselves back up. That could be one of the reasons we don't wanna get down there, because we know the longer we're there, the harder it's gonna be to get back up again. So we're gonna look at some stretches that you can do if you're down on the floor for a significant length of time and you're ready to get back up. Let's look at some stretches that can help loosen up those stiff muscles to help us get back up. So the first one is going to be taking our legs wide, and we're just going to walk ourselves forward any amount, keeping our toes and knees pointing up. We've worked through these muscles a lot. We need to stretch them out anyway. But if you've been sitting for a while, they're going to get stiff. So another thing we can do is add some movement in our feet, ankles. Let's bring ourselves back up, and we're going to take a side stretch. Here again, we can move our hands, wrists, because we're going to be using our wrists here in a minute. Feel that big stretch to the side of our body. This gets into our core muscles that are going to help us get up here in a moment. Let's take this to the other side, and again, kind of work through our fingers, through our wrist. So if you are on the floor, you can take a few minutes to do this kind of thing. Maybe get your grandkids involved in the stretching. Let's bring this back up. We're going to bring our legs forward, and let's bring one foot in. And just hinge ourselves forward to loosen up those hamstrings, because we're going to be using those. And if you're feeling good, you can stay here longer. If you feel like you need to stay longer, stay longer. And when you're ready, we'll switch sides, same thing. So this is going to get back up there into that hip. We're going to get our hip a little bit better here in a moment, because we're going to need those muscles to help us get back up. But if we've been there a while, we might have started scrunching forward. And again, we're going to need our chest muscles to help us get back up. So let's roll our shoulders a few times. And then we're going to reach back, clasp our hands, and just open up. Or we can take our hands to the floor and open our chest from here. Breathing deeply. Now let's go ahead and take our legs forward. We're going to cross one leg over the other and bend that bottom knee. And again, we can push into the floor, turn our fingers out, and open our chest while we do this. Allowing that hip to relax. Just let the knee drop. Gravity does its thing here. And of course, if you want to just be here, you can just be here. Let's come back up, switch legs, stay here, or bend that knee, press our heart forward. Making sure to breathe deeply. And release from there. Let's roll ourselves over to our hands and knees, swinging our legs to the side, rolling over. And again, use that same leg you used before. Hands to the chair. We're just going to come on up this time without the push-ups. And we're going to do a couple more stretches while we're standing to work on our balance a little bit. So let's take one leg back, holding on to the chair or not, feeling the front of our hip open up. And let's shift forward, lifting that foot toward our bottom, working on our balance a little bit. If you want to, you can maybe grab your foot, hold on with one finger, any variation. Let's release from there, slide our other foot back, find that lunge. And we'll shift forward, lifting that foot toward our bottom. Again, if you want to reach down and grab it, hold on to the chair, any variation of this that you want. Oops, maybe I'll just do it this way. And release. So just circle our hips a moment. So please do let me know in the comments if any of these techniques resonated with you. If there's another variations that you'd like to work on, especially, let me know that in the comments as well. I want to thank you, as always, for joining me today. Thank you for subscribing and asking your friends to subscribe. And again, hit that thumbs up button if you found this video valuable. If you want to see some more ways to get down onto and up off the floor, I think I've got at least one video in the playlist that should be popping up on your screen right now that doesn't use a chair. So check those out. And again, leave me a comment and let me know what you think, all right? See you next time.